Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look at lesson 12-2 assignment here. Surface area and volume of pyramids and cones. So we're going to look at number 1. It says find the lateral area and the surface area. And you're going to leave your answer as exact values or in terms of pi. Just really depends on the situation here. So when you're leaving in terms of pi, those are usually the cones, and then the exact values, that's the generic one. It actually applies to every problem here, but exact values for things that are not cones here. So like number 1, that's not a cone. This is a square pyramid, and yes, you can assume that the base of this pyramid is a square. If I want to find the lateral area, that's going to be 1/2 the perimeter of the base multiplied by the slant height. So, well, P represents the perimeter of the base. It's a square. So I'm going to draw my square here. One of the side lengths is 16, and since it's a regular polygon, all the sides are 16. So I have 16 times 4, which is 64. So I have 1/2 of 64. The perimeter of the base is 64. And the slant height is the slanted side. So that's 12. Luckily, I don't have to do the Pythagorean theorem to find one of the missing side lengths here. So I have 1/2 of 64 times 12. I'm going to get 6 times 64. All I'm doing right now is I'm taking 1/2 of 12, which is 6. So 6 times 64, that's 384. 384. And since I'm in the territory of area, lateral area, your unit must be squared in this case, so centimeters squared. Now, the surface area, you're going to include the area of the base this time. So you have the lateral area, or I should say the surface area is equal to 1/2 the perimeter base multiplied by the slant height plus the area of the base. But y'all, we already know what this is. That's 384. So 384 centimeters squared plus the area of the base. Because the base is a square and I'm taking the area of the square, it's A equals S squared, right? Side squared. So 16 squared. And 16 squared is 256 centimeters squared. Okay, so now I'm going to add 384 plus 256. That's 640 square centimeters. And that's the surface area of this pyramid. Okay, so let's take a look at number 3. If I'm trying to find the lateral area, it is pi r L. L is the slant height. I do know what the radius is. Note that the diameter is currently 15, so half of that is 70. Just kidding. That's going to be r equals 7.5. The radius is 7.5 centimeters. But the slant height is unknown. We don't know what the slant height is, which we are trying to find. And this thing here, this little shape, it's a right triangle, so that means I'm going to use the Pythagorean theorem to find the slant height. So this side is 7.5, this is 15, and then that's the slant height. So I have 15 centimeters there. This is 7.5, and that's the slant height, and that's the hypotenuse too. So I have a squared plus b squared equals c squared. I have 7.5 squared plus 15 squared equals L squared. I'm going to take the square root on both sides here. So I have the square root of 7.5 squared plus 15 squared. And okay, well, that's going to give me L equals 16.77. So if the slant height is 16.77, then I can go ahead and figure out, you know, the lateral area. I'm going to do 16.77 times 7.5. And I'm going to get 125.775, which appears on my calculator here. I'm going to round that up, and that's going to be 126. So it's 126 square centimeters. And if you're close to that, then I'll accept it. The surface area, you're going to include the area of the base this time. So you're going to do 126, right? Or I should really not jump ahead like that. But the surface area is pi RL plus the area of the base, which is just pi r squared. We know that the base of the cone is a circle, so the area of the circle is pi r squared. Pi RL is 126 centimeters squared, so I'm going to put 126 there, plus pi times 7.5 quantity squared. So I have 126 plus 7.5 quantity squared is 56.25. Okay, so let's do that. 56.25 plus 126 is 182.25. Oh, I forgot to do something here. So over here, I made a mistake. So I multiplied these two numbers, right? I got 126, but I forgot the pi. And then over here, there should be a pi here, right? So the pi RL is 126 pi. And then I can go ahead and fix this. 126 pi. So there you go. And then don't forget the pi over here. Now I can go ahead and say your answer is 182.25 pi square centimeters. So that's number 3. Let's take a look at number 5. So I got to find what? I got to find the lateral area and the surface area. So the lateral area is pi RL. So pi times 4 times 11. You get 44 pi square inches. Okay. This is the slant height, so I can easily plug that in. I don't need to use the Pythagorean theorem for that one. The surface area, you're going to include the area of the base. So it's 44 pi plus the area of the base, which is pi r squared. And that's going to be, what, 44 pi plus 16 pi. You get 60 pi square inches. And there you go. That's the surface area. Number 6. I know I get this question a lot, but where's 12 pointing to? 12 is actually the diameter of this circle. It's not this. This is not 12. This whole thing is 12. So hopefully that will help you answer that problem there. All right, number 7, let's see. The surface area of a cone is 18 pi square inches and the radius of the base is 3 inches. What is the slant height of the cone? The surface area of a cone should be pi RL plus pi r squared. The surface area is already given. It's 18 pi. So I'm replacing the surface area with 18 pi. That's a given. And that's going to equal to pi. Okay, the radius is also given. That's 3. So pi times 3 times the slant height. Is the slant height given? No. So I'm going to leave that alone. Plus pi times 3 quantity squared. And let me go ahead and just rewrite everything so it looks neater. 3 pi L plus 9 pi. Okay, so this is where you're going to apply algebra, okay? So I'm going to stop here, and I'm going to create an algebra problem, and we're going to work through that problem so that you can figure out how to do this here. So let's say I give you something like 18x equals 3xy plus 9x. And the goal here is to solve for y. So what do I have to do? If I want to get y by itself, well, I have 3 times x times y, which is 3xy. I need to get this by itself. But note that this 9x is right here. It's in the way. So in order for me to get rid of that, I got to subtract both sides by 9x here. All right, so 9x minus 9x, that's 0. And then nothing happens to the 3xy, so we're going to leave that alone. And that's equal to 18x minus 9x, all right? So we know that 2x plus 4x is equal to, what, 6x, yeah? And if I have 6x minus 2x, how many x's do I have left? Well, I have 4x. So 18x minus 9x, that's going to be 9x there. 9x. Now, the question here is, if I'm solving for y, what do I have to do? Now, remember, 3xy is the same thing as saying 3 times x times y. So you're multiplying everything here. What's the opposite of multiplication? Well, it's division. You got to divide both sides by 3x here. All right, so the 3x's cancel. You're going to be left with y on the right-hand side of the equation. And then what happens to x divided by x? If x divided by x, what's x divided by x? Well, that's going to cancel out. It's going to become 1. And then you're left with 9 divided by 3, which is 3. Okay, so y is equal to 3. And then your goal here is to solve for the slant height. Your goal is to solve for the slant height. And hopefully how we, go through this problem will help you figure out how to solve for the slant height here. Okay. Number 8. The surface area of a triangular pyramid is 532 square centimeters, and the base is 24 centimeters wide with a hypotenuse of 25 centimeters. What is the slant height of the pyramid? Okay, so the first thing that I want to go ahead and do is I'm just going to say that the surface area of a triangular pyramid is 532. That's helpful information because, look, we're dealing with a triangular pyramid. And since it's called a triangular pyramid, then its base is a triangle. So the shape of the base of the pyramid is a triangle. And it says we're dealing with a hypotenuse here, so it's implying that we're dealing with a right triangle. So the hypotenuse of that right triangle is 25, and the base is 24 centimeters wide. So we're going to put 24 here. So we're dealing with the right triangle. Okay, I'm going to leave that alone. I'm going to leave this alone, and I'm going to figure out, what we're dealing with here. The surface area of the triangular pyramid. Okay, the surface area of a pyramid is 1/2 the perimeter of the base, which is, the triangle that we just drew there, times the slant height, plus the area of the base. So I'm just gonna put B. So 1/2. Do we know what the perimeter of the triangle is? No. I only have 24 and 25, so that means I have to use Pythagorean theorem. But I know 24, 25. That's in a triple, so it's 7, 24, 25. 7, 24, 25. Okay. Or you can just use the Pythagorean theorem to figure out that missing side length. So 7 plus 24 plus 25. That's 56. If I'm adding up all the sides, the perimeter of the base is going to be 56. And I still don't know what the slant height here is, so that's going to be, left alone. Plus the area of the base, the area of the triangle. So area of the triangle is equal to 1/2 times the base of the triangle multiplied by the height of the triangle. So 1/2 of the base being 24, and then the height is going to be 7. So 1/2 of 24, that's 12, times 7, that's 84. Okay? And then the surface area is given, it's 532. So if I'm looking at this equation now, let me write this all out. 532 equals, well, half of 56. Half of 56 here is 28. Multiplied by the slant height plus 84. All right, so there you go. Hopefully that will help you figure out how to find the slant height. I'll leave it alone, and then you'll continue doing the rest here. All right. I think it was 13 that I noticed some issues, but we'll get to that. Let's take a look at 10. I'm just going to give you a hint here. If you're trying to find the volume, remember volume is 1/3 of the area of the base multiplied by the height of the prism. So it's 1/3 the area of the base, which is a pentagon. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's a regular pentagon, so all the sides are congruent. So all of these sides are 4.4 each. And it's giving you an apothem right here. So this thing is the apothem. It's 3 centimeters long. I know this is not a perfect drawing of the regular pentagon, but we're doing our best here. This is 4.4, and this is the apothem. It's 3 centimeters. Remember the formula for a regular polygon is A equals 1/2 the apothem multiplied by the perimeter, okay? So there you go. Hopefully that'll get you started with this problem. So find the area of the regular pentagon, and then you're going to multiply that by the height of the height of the pyramid, and then you're going to divide that by 3. Let's see, what's the next thing? Number 13, here we go. This one is a little challenging because the way, the amount of questions I get in class about this one. So let's just recall the volume formula. The volume formula is going to be V equals 1/3 the area of the base multiplied by the height of the pyramid. So 1/3, since the base of the figure is a circle, it's going to be pi r squared multiplied by the height. So 1/3 pi 4 quantity squared, and then the height. Ooh, the height is not given this time. We only have the slant height. So okay, so we have a squared plus b squared equals c squared. A is going to be 4 squared. B is going to be our unknown, so b squared. And then c squared, that's going to be 11 squared. Subtract both sides by 4 squared. I have b squared equals 11 squared minus 4 squared. I'm going to take the square root. And please don't do 11 squared minus 4 squared and think that is going to be 7 squared. That's not correct. But I'm just putting everything into my calculator all at once. So really, you're going to type in the square root of 11 squared minus 4 squared. And you're going to get, b equals 10.2. B is equal to 10.2. So we just figured out the height there. So the height is 10.2. Okay, the height of the cone is 10.2. Here we go. So I have 1/3 pi times 16 times 10.2. And then, let's see. If I put that into my calculator, I should get 54. Let's see. What number is this? Number 13. I should get 54.4 inches cubed. And it looks like the key says 51.3 inches cubed, but no, I'm sorry. I'm looking at number 11 on the key. Number 13 says 176 pi divided by 3. That should be... Okay, well, if you get close to my answer, then it should be fine. Okay, so 54.4 cubic inches would be the volume for number 13. Okay, 14, 15, and 16. So, 14. Find the height of a triangular pyramid with a right triangle base with the leg 8 centimeters and hypotenuse 10 centimeters. That has a volume of 144 centimeters cubed. Okay, so volume of a triangular pyramid, it should be V equals 1/3 the area of the base multiplied by the height. We know that the base, or the shape of the base of the pyramid, is a triangle because it says triangular pyramid. You know you're dealing with the right triangle because it says hypotenuse. So the hypotenuse should be across from the 90-degree angle. It should be 10. And it says leg, triangular base with a leg of 8 centimeters. Leg, it means that you have a right triangle. A leg of a right triangle is just the side that's not the hypotenuse. So if this is the hypotenuse, then these two side lengths are what we call the legs. So one of them is just 8. So, okay, maybe we need to figure out this side here. So let me just go ahead and work through this. So we know that the volume is 144, which is equal to 1/3 the area of the base, which is a triangle. So A equals 1/2 base times the height. Now, I'm going to let you figure out what the base is, right? So we already know that it's 1/2, and then you got to figure out the base. You're gonna have to use the Pythagorean theorem on this one, or maybe you got to use the Pythagorean triple to figure out that missing side length. So find the base. Okay, that's your goal, and you're going to plug in the height of the triangle, which is 8. Yeah, so 1/2 base times 8. Your goal is to find the base, and once you figure out B, multiply the base, whatever that is, times 8, and then divide by 2. So you can go ahead and replace capital B with whatever the area of this triangle is. Okay, so I'm just going to leave, I'm going to let you figure that out. So once you find what B is, you're going to find the height. So you're basically doing algebra. You're going backwards to figure out what the height of the triangular pyramid is. Let's see, 15, a square pyramid has a volume of 862.5 cubic centimeters and a height of 11.5 centimeters. Find the side length of the base. Okay, you're dealing with the square pyramid, yes? So the volume formula is equal to 1/3 the area of the base multiplied by the height. The volume is already given to 862.5, which is equal to 1/3 the area of the base. It's a square. So, oops, that is not a square. So there you go. There you go. So how do we find, how do I find the area of a square? Well, y'all, the area of the square formula is A equals side squared. So it's side squared. You're replacing B with side squared. And then is the height given? Yes, the height is 11.5. Okay? And then I'm going to rewrite this as 862.5 equals 1/3 times 11.5. That's 11.5 over 3 multiplied by the side squared there. So solve for S. Note that once you get S squared by itself, right, what do you have to do on both sides to get S by itself there? And I'll let you figure that out on your own. Okay. And then I'll let, since I did so many problems already, I think you should try 16 on your own as well. All right, so there you go. This is the homework help video. So good luck. I've done so many problems. So hopefully this will help you, finish your homework or help you finish your homework. Okay. Alrighty. Thank you so much.